break to take a rest. And now, and then, and go.
Good job. You slammed on the brakes and put it in reverse and caught the clutch and blew the trans.
So tell us again, what year was it?
49.
49.
Chevrolet? Okay.
Where did you get it? Or was it yours? Because I remember a lot of your first cars you ended up getting because Dad quit driving them when they broke down and you'd take them and get them running. Is that
So I
right?
got the Rambler, yes. Came home from my mission. If I fix that car, can I have it? Yeah, right it. But my second car, there's a fellow that worked for Dad.
What was his name?
I don't remember.
Tex?
I lived, yeah. He lived down on the west side, and he said, I have a 49 Mercury, runs really nice, big tires, buy a couple of tires. So I trade you the Chevy for it. Yeah. So Jonathan and I, Brad, towed it down to his place down on the west side. They got me a couple of new tires. Now it had a 4-door Mercury, and 2 handles on the back that broken off. So people couldn't get in. If you knew how to stick your thumb in there, you could open the door. So I had my door handle on the other side. And I stopped to pick up Phil.
Dahlman?
Dahlman.
Wow.
And put him on the handle. Good. Throw that sucker away. So the only the door handle was mine.
One door handle.
So were you mechanically inclined or did you have?
Of course, I just threw it away.
No, I'm talking about the door handle. I'm talking about getting them running.
Yeah. I had an auto mechanics. In the senior year, I got 2-hour auto mechanics. So I'd take it in and say, I'm going to do a brake job. I'm going to do a brake job. I need to do on my carburetor. Take the carburetor apart.
That worked. Didn't you take like a blanket and make a tonneau cover
Yeah.
on the back seat?
Yeah, I had it came up over my seat and then went to the back window. So couldn't get in. If you did, you have to pull that.
It was real popular back then to have these custom-made covers.
Yeah.
When-
Oh,
Better
fun.
covers.
He got a blanket. He took a shortcut and just got a blanket and stretched it.
Oh, funny.
Cheaper.
Absolutely.
A nice car. It goes up till my mission. I don't know what happened.
Well, speaking of Tex, which I don't know why I am, but Dad had a guy. We talked about him the other day. He had a guy that worked for him. He went by Tex. I don't know what his real name was.
Pilcher, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. But he was an old cowboy guy, and he always listened to country western music. Country western back in the '60s is a real twangy thing. So every time I hear one of those old songs, I mean, it's just
Good cowboy music.
yeah. Well, it's cowboy music. I don't know if it's good.
Well,
You know, this is the late '60s where music got really rock and rolly. His was kind of hurt my brain. I think it did damage, permanent damage.
Don't get too close to it.
The cars were a big part of the culture when he was growing up. Oh, me too. But
They were a big deal.
the Grant was way into it.
Grant had lower and leaded. They'd go for $1, you could buy 2 or 3 gallons of gas. Go drag state.
There's a story about him in cars that used to go on the record. My dad bought a brand new, it was a '59 Ford, something like that.
I think it is.
A few times he bought a brand new car and he brought it home.
59 or 60.
And Jonathan Graff had a dog,
Named Prince.
Irish setter named Prince. Good dog, really good dog.
Very good dog.
And so our dad pulls his brand new Ford into the driveway, into the garage. Me, start again.
No, you're good.
And the dog, everybody's out. The dog got all excited about this new car, and just being a dog, he jumped up and put his paws on the door with his little paws.
Why he did that, we have no
So
idea.
Dad got so mad, he went to kick Prince. He kicked as hard as he could, and he hit him instead. He kicked him in the leg, and just having the leg go by scared Prince off. He's going, I'm getting out of here.
He took off.
Steve's hopping around like, what'd I do?
Okay, I won't touch the door. You know, the next thing.
Weird, because Steve went out going, oh.
Learned your lesson.
But yeah, he quit hitting on the car.
Don't touch the car.
True story.
Luckily, our dad wasn't tall enough. He kicked him like in the shin. It wasn't like leg.
Oh yeah, this is shit.
No damage. No harm.
Any other cars that you had to stick out, or from then on were they always pretty practical?
Well, when I came home, they had the Rambler. I think that was 60.
Yeah, the 4-door.
Parked down at Grandpa's. Something in the front end went out. I borrowed a car, went down and looked at it and said, "Can I fix that car? Can I have it?" Yeah. So I went down, bought the parts in the front end, went down and fixed it.
Let me interject there. For my dad to stop driving the car, it had to be pretty bad. I mean, he would limp cars along through. I mean, it's kind of a tradition, but him to have to fix it. It wasn't just a matter of getting a new tire and checking the oil. It had to be pretty rough for him to fix it. Another story about that car. It was a 4-door, and at some point, one of the rear doors got hit by another car. And Dad took it into the shop to get it fixed, and he said, "We're going to need it for a couple of weeks." He says, "I can't a couple of weeks without my door. It's just a door." So he took the door off. He left the door at the shop. He says, "Let me know when it's fixed." And he kept driving it. And so, they didn't have seatbelts in the back seats back then. And you don't realize
Seatbelts were a big deal.
And Grandpa drove crazy.
You don't realize what a door is until you don't have it. So you pull up on the light. You know, you're sitting there trying to look normal, and the people next to us are looking at you like, you know, you don't have a door, right? You feel like you want to explain it. It's in the shop. so we can sit back there and hang on, because our dad wasn't a very conscientious driver either. He had no trouble just turning on a dime. He like you not go flying out of the car. So
funny.
yeah. And you drove that for a while?
Yeah.
With the fixed door.
When the freeway was new, you went down around the point of the mountain, then you get on the old highways. Go down to see what's her name.
So, well, is that what you were driving when you got married?
I think so. I think it was.
Certain cars.
We bought a '62 Chevy Bel Air.
Was it brown? Or what color was it? So I heard Phil or John Dolan had like a brownish. Certain cars, over time, they become more and more valuable, and they're worth restoring, worth keeping. None of these are those cars. These are
I'm a desk.
These are classic cars.
Get them anywhere. We lived on 12th East and between 1st and 2nd South, so I could lock up the school.
That was a pretty stiff climb, though.
Oh yeah, it was uphill.
I remember that.
She was going to the Y, and then she got one of the classes she took. The BYU class put up on the avenue. An old place, right? How they put that together. But they had the students memorize poems, memorize those stories and stuff. And then they had to give a report. So she gave a report, used those stories and told these things. After it was over, the teacher said, "Where did you get that story about this?" "You gave it to us." Oh. She didn't even recognize the story.
Did you go from
Because
there?
you had to use those stories as part of it.
Funny.
So did you go from that to Elizabeth Avenue?
Yeah.
See, I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. I can remember we lived on a little dead end street called Elizabeth Avenue, just west of you.
Yes, we did.
Thank you for story.
This turned into a straight out war!
Troublemaker. I got you, Jana. You're in my sight. You are in. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Oh, elephant. Oh, fabulous. I am Turtle Girl.
No one knows? What was that, Bethany?
I don't want to yell at this wrong.
No, yell at her.
Raymond? Hebrew John? John, Raymond, somebody.
John Hebrew Lloyd.
Hebrew somebody.
John Hebrew Lloyd.
What else?
So John Hebrew Lloyd was born in July. And just a quick story about John Hebrew Lloyd. So he was a painter, and he would go to work,
Here, if you don't mind.
and when he'd come back every day, he'd be coming back, his daughters would be waiting for him, and they were just waiting for their dad to come back. And then once they saw their dad, they'd run up to him and they'd check his lunchbox to see if he had eaten his lunch or not. Did you know the story, Mom? You know the story? So they check his lunchbox to see if he had eaten his lunch. And when they'd open the lunchbox and they saw that he ate his sandwich all the way gone, the daughters would always get the sad face. So he started catching on, and so he started taking 2 sandwiches with him to work. So he'd eat one on the way back. His daughters would come, they'd see him coming afar off, they'd go run up to him, they'd open the lunchbox, and there'd be a second sandwich, and they'd share. He was also known for having a really good sense of humor, so he was they said he was a calm man, but he would always take a joke. The next one,
That was really interesting.
let's see if anyone knows who this person is.
Somebody Johnson.
That's really good. And she's an in-law. That was really good. Who is this? Jesse, who is it? How did you know that? That's Judy. Okay. There's a really interesting story about Augusta Johnson. So she never knew her dad. So when she was just in her mom's tummy, her dad left. They lived in Sweden. And this is with the time of the California gold rush. And so there's a lot of people in Sweden that they found out that there's gold in California. So they left their families just for a short time and said, we're going to go get rich, and then we'll bring back all of our money and all of our gold. And so he left, and he was never heard of again. And we have no idea. It's a family mystery that my mom asked me one time to try to figure out the mystery, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And so if one of you want to figure it out, that'd be awesome. We have no clue what happened to her dad. His name was August Johnson. He just disappeared. Well, so there's another man named Charlie Johnson, and he was interested in Augusta's mom. So she ended up being born, and Augusta's mom didn't want to remarry anyone until it was confirmed that her husband was dead. She was waiting for him. And so Charlie kept on, expressing that he was interested in marrying her. And it wasn't until after 8 years after August had disappeared that finally Augusta's mom agreed to marry him. They ended up moving over here to the United States, and she crossed the plains, Augusta, when she was only 9 years old. And it said in her obituary that she walked the whole way as a 9-year-old. And then they ended up settling down here, and she ended up marrying one of the men who went on a mission just when that she met in Sweden. So that's Augusta Johnson. Yeah, 2 more and I have to go really fast. This one, he was born on July 13th. Who was he? Who was it? This is a Jones. What's his first name? This is one of my son's favorite ancestor. This is Evan Jones. So Evan Jones, they said that when he was a kid, he must have gotten really interested in locomotives. That he became fascinated by it. That when he got to be older, he ended up getting a job as a locomotive engineer. So he rode trains. They even said that he worked on the Transcontinental Railroad and Promontory Point. And so there's that famous picture when the 2 trains connect together in Promontory. And there's that picture of the 2 men that they're handing like a bottle of wine to each other or whatever it was. We're pretty root beer. We think that Evan Jones is in that picture on one of the trains. He's on the train to the left. And there's a picture where it looks awfully like him in that picture. They also say he was the first one to ride a train into Logan, Utah.
Drive a train.
To drive a train.
Wyoming.
And it said Logan, Utah. I read it.
Correct. And then he went on to Wyoming.
Okay, yes. And then they also said he was the first person ever to drive a train into Montana, which is kind of cool because he's one of our ancestors. Okay, last one. I'm not sure if anyone's going to get this one right. Who is this?
Ruth.
How did you know that?
She's my mom.
This is Ruth Sal Soderbergh. So, Ruth, she looks just like my niece, Eden. So if you look at her face in this picture, and you look at my niece, they look so much alike. So Ruth, she was very good at music, that she loved music, and from my understanding that she had music all the time in their house, and she loved playing the organs, especially in the evening with her kids. They also said that, like during family nights, that her husband, so my grandpa, George Floyd, that he was busy a lot, so he was out with his job, and so a lot of times it was her with the kids, and they said that they loved just having some time with mom and having her just invite music into the house. And then my mom said that when her dad was there, those family home meeting nights, he would then teach a lesson that she always thought was really boring. And she said that she always liked it when he wasn't there because then it was all this music that she would like. Is that true? Okay. And then grandma, so this is my grandma. Grandma Ruth, she contracted cancer and she passed away when my mom was 14 years old. So I never met her, but she's still she looks just like my niece and like my sister.
Joanne's met her, my sister.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Aunt Joanne's met her. That's a good point. Okay, so those are
Those were really interesting.
Okay. I have 3 of the ancestors that were born in July. And I want to ask you if anybody knows who this is. Terry. Henry.
That's Henry.
Thank you, Jane. This is Henry Charles Eddington. This is my great-grandfather. Didn't want to put too many greats in there. My great-grandfather, he was born July 28th of 1855. And he was a carpenter by trade, and he helped build many of the homes that were built back in that time in Morgan, Utah, is where he lived. Henry was the sheriff of Morgan County for a number of terms. He and his wife were interested and active in dramatics. They loved to sing and entertain, and they were instrumental in organizing what they called the Morgan Home Dramatic Company. They, with a number of ward members, put on many plays for the public, including Uncle Tom's Cabin, Shamrock and Roses, etc. Never heard of that one. Even after moving to Idaho in 1905, they continued to be active in this kind of entertainment. And those of you who love to sing and dance and entertain, you know where you get it from. He was of a humorous disposition, always seeing the fun as well as the serious side of everything. He was always whistling and singing, although his voice was not considered very good, so they say. That's Henry Charles Eddington. Okay, you probably won't get this one either. So this is Henry Charles Eddington's mother. So she's my great-great-grandmother, and she was born July 27, 1829. Her name is Louisa Sarah Barton. And when she was 17 years old, she joined the Church of Jesus Christ. And 1 year later, when she was 18, she immigrated to America from England. I brought my flag from England, and with her sister and her cousin, Jane. And Louisa's father boarded the ship because he didn't want her to go. And her cousin Jane hid her in the captain's quarters, so her father never found her. Thank you, Louisa Sarah, for coming to the United States of America. The last one we have is, I have no idea who she is, so there's very little information about her, but she was born July 30th, 1813, and her name is Mary Mudeman. Mary is my great-great-grandmother on the Dolan adopted side, because my father was adopted. She was born in England and immigrated to the U.S. and like from Sweden too. And
Sweden.
Sometime after her death, sometime after the death of her husband is when she came to the United States. Her husband is Henry Dunkley Starmer, who died in 1862. They had 4 children. You have to remember all this, okay? They had 4 children. There's a record that shows Mary remarried a man in Salt Lake City in 1884, so I don't really know how she came to the United States, but Mary died in 1888 and is buried in the Salt Lake City Cemetery. Those were born in July. But how many of you have birthdays in July, Rio? Oh, yay! Woo! 2 of you is all? That's all. Wow. July what? Woohoo! July what? Oh, 17th. Okay, good.
Oh, wow.
So, do we want to sing now? Yeah. So we have a family trivia game that we're going to play. So if you know the answer to our questions, raise your hand. It's not a team, it's an individual sport. So if you know the answer to any of these family trivia questions, we're going to keep score. Okay? We do have a prize for the winner. Okay? Gee, we have a prize. Okay. So, all right.
Okay. I don't think you'll know the answer.
Really fast, we brought cucumbers and a few squash. If you want to take one home, we'd love you to eat it. Eat them. Cucumbers and squash. Okay, first question. If you know the answer to this question, raise your hand. Okay. How far is that? That's all? Okay. What was Evan Jones's occupation? Jean.
Engineer.
Woohoo! Of what?
Trains.
Train engineer. Yes.
Yeah? Wait, I shouldn't write this down.
That's cheating. You won't know all the answers. You won't know all the answers. Terry won't know all the answers. Okay. How old was Louisa Sarah Barton when she joined the church? Close. 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 Raise your hand, honey. 17. Very good. That's great. Way to go. Sorry, Brandon. Who was the relative? I'm not sure if this was pronounced, so this might be very hard. Who was the relative to do the original gold leafing of the angel Moroni on top of the Salt Lake Temple in 1894? Very good.
Wait, the husband should not move.
Dave,
The husband should not move.
Report. That's not fair.
Did you read the answers when I emailed these to you? Okay.
Don't raise your hand anymore.
Next
Cheaters.
Okay. It's a tie for you. Okay. Wait, Stephen, come here for a minute. Did we?
Are you going to give him another answer?
Okay, this one's going to be really hard. Which ancestor was locked in jail for 2 days without food or water simply because he taught the gospel and administered the sacrament?
Okay, should we raise our hands?
Soderbergh side.
is the first letter?
First letter is, can I get the first
Yes.
letter? The first letter of his first name is A.
Who? Dave. Stephanie, raise your hand next time, okay?
No, I didn't really
She
know.
was too busy cheating with Jane.
I was trying to. I got where you find that. I was too busy. Got it. Finger spell. Finger spell.
Soderbergh. John Lewis' father? No, he forgot the father.
Oh, Gene, you're losing.
Okay. Which Latter-day Prophet is great-grandfather to Ruth South Soderbergh?
John Taylor. For my
Yes,
man.
him?
Yes, you are.
John, are you named after John David?
Okay, here we go. Who was the president? Okay, this is really hard. Who was the president of the United States when Lloyd Soderbergh was born? Okay, first of all, when was Lloyd Soderbergh born?
1912.
Who was the president of the United States in 1912? No,
Was it Hoover?
no, you'll never get it.
Roosevelt.
No, no. Starts with a T.
Taft.
Who said it? Raise your hand. Eric? Eric got it. So, William Howard Taft. We had to have some that were hard and some that were easy. I had to look up. Okay, this was fun to know. Trivia. This is a trivia game. How many siblings of George Lloyd Soderbergh have the middle name of Lloyd? And raise your hand. And raise your hand. Almost. Did you say all of them?
Well, except for Benson.
I can't hear you.
I think all the men had the name,
There was a woman too.
but Bessie, she had it too.
So five out of the seven. Did anybody know that? Give it to Ann.
Alvin's middle name was not Lloyd.
But Bessie's was.
Why wasn't his name?
Yeah, Mom, what was Alvin's?
Maybe it was Jack. John. One of them was not Lloyd.
According to Family Search, 5 out of the 7.
Yeah. That would be the one son and one daughter.
Okay. These are, honestly, let me do it.
Are you going to do a Darwin one?
Let me pick out a dollar one. Okay, here's a dollar one. What was Henry Charles Eddington's favorite pastime with his wife, Sarah Louise Durant? Favorite pastime? Do you remember, Tia?
Drama. Very good.
The girl who loves to sing and dance. Okay. What was Henry Charles Eddington's occupation in Morgan, Utah? Sheriff is one of them. Do you remember the other one? Carpenter or sheriff? John, maybe did you get it first? Yeah. You said sheriff. So. Yeah. Either one would have been good.
Little brother got it.
Okay, this was really hard and very, very much trivia. Which European nation was said to invent hot dogs? Who's raising your hand? Okay, raise your hand. Raise your hand and say it out. No, no Sweden. You want a hint?
Austria.
It's the same country where Sarah Soderbergh Fenton served her mission. Germany. Frank. Oh, who said it? Everybody. for that one. Hey, let's give it to Frank. Should we give it to Frank for he's from Germany? Okay,
He had to come to America to learn the Germany.
what was Ruth South's nickname given to her by her boyfriend at the time, Lloyd Soderbergh? And she read the same history I read. Because she was the third South in her family, the third child in the South family, and the street on 3rd South at Broadway.
Broadway.
Very good, Broadway.
The 3rd South.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, John. You just verified it. Woo! I did. I second that. I know. I was watching.
Okay. Which ancestor was a contestant for King of the Harvest Ball at Cypress High School in 1938?
Jack.
Jack Carl Dolan. Daddy. I don't know if he made it, but he was a contestant.
He made it.
Did he make it?
Yeah, he made it.
Yeah, he made it.
I'll verify that.
After which Latter-day Prophet was Jim Eddington named? Nope. Lorenzo Snow, Terry.
Wait.
So Jim Eddington, first of all, you had to know who Jim Eddington was. Second of all, you had to know his full name.
Oh.
Yeah, James Lorenzo, named after Lorenzo Snow.
Oh, really?
Because they knew each other in Morgan.
Wow.
Well, William Eddington and Henry Charles knew Lorenzo Snow. Grandpa didn't know it. In which country was Haken Anderson born? Raise your hand. In which country was Haken Anderson born?
Sweden. Oh, wait.
Mel, did you get it first? How many do you have?
I'm not really voting.
So Sweden's a good, important country to all of us. Okay, this is a two answer trivia question. Who won that one? I can't remember. Jean. Melanie. Oh, Melanie. Yeah. At what age was Jack Carl Dolan adopted to Carl and Ada Dolan?
15.
Nope.
Under 10.
It's a trivia question. If you're close, I'll give it to you. 10 years old? Nope.
3 months.
10 months old? Nope. 3? Nope.
3.
Years? No. No.
3 months. 3 months?
Nope.
Under 12.
How old was he, Tara? Few days. It could have been up to 2 weeks, is what the adoption papers say. So I would have taken infant or 2 weeks.
Way to go, Terry.
Okay, only a few more. Are your thinking caps on? This one's really hard. Phyllis Eddington had a twin brother named Thane. Which twin was born first? 50-50 answer.
Tell us.
Nope. The Thane. I think John, did you get it first? 50-50 answer, right?
Wait, was it Thane?
No,
I thought it was Thane.
Thane was born at 1:15, and Phyllis was born at 1:35.
Oh, I've been wrong all these years.
Florence May Lloyd is Lloyd Soderbergh's mother. At 5'0" tall, what sport did she play in school? John got it. John got it. Did you raise your hand, Dave?
What's this?
Okay, Dave got it.
Granite High School. Wait a minute. Granite High School, they were state championship team.
That's right. They were state champions, right? They were state champions. Guess who else played basketball when she was 5 foot tall?
Rio!
Yeah. journeys on foot. This is going to be hard because Stephen said a little bit of it, but I want the whole answer. How far did she walk? Okay, that's pretty good. But, Dave, from where to where? From here to there. From east to west. From Council Bluffs, Iowa to Salt Lake City, Utah. On foot. In which country was Louisa Sarah Barton born? Raise your hand. Terry? England. Right? Were you going to say that? No? England. Dave got one, and then Terry got one. What?
Terry didn't raise his hand.
He did.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see him.
Okay, last one.
We'll check the record later.
How many children did Mary Muddleman have with her first husband, Henry Dunkley Starmer?
5.